So hello guys and welcome back to another video in our channel. Enzo Maresca is about to start his tenure at Chelsea, hopefully the beginning of this month. And in our video today we are going to try and look at how he can set up Chelsea, looking at different player profiles and the preferred system that is able to make him achieve whatever he wants to implement at Chelsea. I have done two previous videos explaining the roles of players in his system and how he actually likes to set up his team. So in our video today, we're going to focus on how he's going to set up Chelsea, which players are going to be so important and what will be their roles in the team. Maresca is similar to Pep Guardiola in the way he likes to build up. He likes to build up with a 3 and 2 midfielders close together and playing in a much more staggered position so they are able to maneuver the ball in between the lines. His system involves slow build-up possession with quick link-up plays and slow ball movements further up the pitch. His players need to be able to be quite smart in how the way they move and rotate the ball. So, in our video today, we are going to look at the key players and how he can actually structure Chelsea. I believe Chelsea have better players than Leicester and that they have players who are able to benefit tremendously in this system. I'm going to give you the preferred formation that is going to pick. I'm going to give you the lineup, and we are going to understand how this is going to be achieved by looking at all the positions and what he expects from his players and the players at Chelsea who will enable him to be able to meet these objectives. That is what we are going to tactically analyze today. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. The first position is the goalkeeper. So in my previous video, I explained how crucial the goalkeeper is because he is the one who actually starts the attack. So Chelsea have so far Petrovic and Sanchez, with Kepa looking to come back. These goalkeepers are quite suspect, especially with the building from the back. Now Chelsea are actually rumored to be going for a goalkeeper in this transfer window because a goalkeeper is a very crucial part in this system. Petrovic, I believe, can play just short passes, but he's also sometimes not comfortable with the ball at his feet. So, the goalkeeper first job is usually to try and find the two center backs. And he should be very comfortable with the ball. He should not be afraid to receive the ball under pressure and should be very composed when under pressure. And this is also his task to look and try to find line-breaking passes to the holding midfielder. The goalkeeper in his system should also be comfortable pushing forward to play as an extra centre-back during build-up, something that we've seen Ederson, Ortega and Alisson do sometimes for Liverpool and Manchester City, and he should be very well composed in this system. You can see here in deeper phases of play, the centre-backs have dropped so close to him. And you can see how he could be comfortable with the ball to be able to play those balls in over the top. You can see this position, the goalkeeper has actually stepped out and is playing as an extra center defender. And this is something that we see Ederson doing majority of the times. And this is what Enzo Maresca expects from his goalkeeper. Number 2 is the central defenders. And central defenders, he usually likes ball-playing progressive defenders, and we've lost one in Thiago Silva. Now, there are two options, either Wesley Fofana and Badiashile. Fofana is a good progressor of the ball, while Badiashile is a better passer, and also Levi Colwill in that position. Not forgetting Trevor Chalobah, but we don't know if he will be at the club next season. So, the position of the centre-backs is very crucial, and their roles usually differ regards to the partnership. One centre-back is a ball carrier, meaning that his main aim is to carry the ball in field. That is something that Wesley Fofana does very well. And once he carries the ball, he's able now to push forward and look to make that pass. The other centre-back is one of a more reserved centre-back, a centre-back who stands on the ball and looks to play those penetrative passes. And this role can really suit the likes of Colwill and Benoit Badiashile, especially Badiashile, who looks much more composed in possession. You can see from this clip the positions of the centre-back. The centre-backs who are actually starting out wide as half-backs need to be the ones who are very agile to carry the ball forward, while the one who stays at the middle need to be the one who's more patient. You can see this in Manchester City when you look at this 3-2 structure that they create with Ruben Diaz and Kyle Walker and Nathan Ake. Ake and Walker are usually quite more progressive with the ball, while Ruben Diaz or Akanji, who's playing in the middle, is much more reserved and much more calm on the ball. The next position, which is the most important position in build-up, are the fullbacks. In this situation, Maresca is very blessed to have the best fullbacks in the Premier League, and I will explain this. At right back, he has Reece James and Malo Gusto, two players who are very good going forward and two players who are very good even coming and cutting in field. Reece James being so dynamic that he can actually even shift at the back line and play as an extra centre-back. We saw that under Thomas Tuchel. And Marc Cucurella, who has epitomized the position of an inverted fullback in the last days of Mauricio Pochettino, a position that has seen Chelsea actually excel in the last games of the season. Questions will be asked about Ben Chilwell because Ben Chilwell is not quite comfortable with the ball at his feet and is a more conventional fullback. And will he adapt to this system? So the right back in this position is very crucial. And we have seen with Chelsea's right back, they are very good pushing forward and very good cutting in. And this gives Maresca uncertainty because sometimes they can push high up and actually make that overlapping cross. And most of the time, they may actually invert in midfield. Reece James, who played as a central midfielder at Wigan, understands the position in midfield and he can play that role well. Under Thomas Tuchel, he played in this back three system, and it's also a position that Reece James understands quite well and he can actually tuck in, give that physicality and pace. On the other hand, Marc Cucurella can play in this inverted position. We have seen how he has contributed tremendously for Chelsea in this kind of position. Looking at this structure, if I were to pick a lineup, then Reece James will be the one who will be tucking back to play as a back three to give that physicality, while Cucurella comes in midfield. You can see this 3-2 structure again here. You can see the one centre back has shifted out wide with one right back pushing up the back and a fullback inverting. And this 3-2 structure is something that you're going to see at Chelsea next season. Marc Cucurella, who's been a player who has been really performing well in this position, and there are actually benefits of having a fullback in this position. Number one, you have an extra man in midfield. And not only do you have an extra man in midfield, you're also having a player who's able to win the ball in midfield. You can easily win this ball in midfield, counter press this ball, win this ball in midfield, and have a player who's a good defender in this position. Again, he can also look to create chances from this deeper midfield position, looking for crosses. Reece James can be quite dynamic, knowing when to shift across to push forward and a player dropping deep, giving the team uncertainty. Reece James in this position can play similar to Trent Alexander-Arnold, looking to try and play those penetrative cross balls to the far post area, looking to pick pacey wingers such as Mudryk, Raheem Sterling and Noni Madueke behind the line. Central midfielders, and when I'm talking about central midfielders, I'm looking at the defensive midfielder. This is the heart of the team. Maresca at Chelsea has two excellent players in this position, Romeo Lavia and Moises Caicedo. The benefit that Maresca has is that these two players, one of them he has worked with, and the other is a very good player in possession. And because these two players are very good with the ball, Maresca has a player who he can rely on, especially during build-up. The central defensive midfielder is usually the deepest of the three midfielders in his 4-3-3, and his main aim is to receive the ball and look to dictate the tempo of the game, looking to know when to play balls over the top, when to shift balls across, when to play penetrative passes to find players in between the lines, and looking to when to actually increase or decrease the tempo of the game. He's also a player who should be comfortable dropping deep close to the centre backs. Why is this? You can see from his Leicester days, the defensive midfielder sometimes actually drops in a slightly half-back position in between the two centre-backs to spread the centre-backs and actually look to create positions in midfield where they can thrive. You can see here also against in Manchester City, the position that Rodri occupies. Sometimes he might move from midfield when he's not receiving the ball so that he can have the opportunity to drop players out in midfield and look to play passes for the dropping in forward. Sometimes even when the team is being marked man-to-man at the backline, he is also the player who's supposed to drop deep and increase the numerical advantage, either forming a back four so that the team can be able to progress with the ball further. This is a position that Lavia and Moises Caicedo understand very well. And once they drop deep, Chelsea's, who have also excellent fullbacks going forward, can push slightly forward. And this is what makes the defensive midfielder a very crucial part. The next number is the number 8. And this number 8 is the one who is very, very important actually, because he's the one who dictates the shape of the team in and without possession. This position I've picked solely for Enzo Fernandez, and I'm picking this position for Enzo Fernandez because he's the player who's supposed to use his creativity high up the pitch and drop deep alongside the holding midfielder when Chelsea are defending. Now, the number 8 in this position can start as the either side of the midfield three, looking to actually push to the half space. But his role without the ball is to drop next to the holding midfielder and look to try and keep the ball there and try to defend. And this position enables him to push forward and look to link up with the left winger, and it needs a player who's creative. Enzo Fernandez has done this again with Chelsea. You can see when he pushed forward to play alongside Mykhailo Mudryk when Pochettino tried to implement this system earlier on. And having a player, the midfielders such as Cucurella or Caicedo who are able to get the ball to him, then Enzo Fernandez can thrive in this position. Now, Enzo Fernandez needs positional discipline in this position. He needs to stick with his position even when they don't have the ball, so that he's able to create that uncertainty and give his creativity and vision from that position. We move on to the number 10. The number 10 in this position is a player who will start either at the number 10 position or a player who's going to start on either side of a midfield three. This position has two key players in mind, Christopher Nkunku and Cole Palmer. So this is a very tricky position because you need one, and looking at the number 8, you'll have to select one. In this case, Palmer actually picks himself because he's the best. So in this position, the number 10 will push onto the other half space. His role is similar to that number 8, but he's much more aggressive without the ball, joining the striker during the press. These two twin 10s need to sit in a position whereby they're able to occupy those positions in the half spaces. And this is to allow the wingers to actually have space in the wide areas and have players in between the lines. Now, this position can easily be played well with players such as Cole Palmer. You remember, Cole Palmer has been coached by Maresca, and Maresca actually explained to him how he's supposed to play this role. The ability to pick up spaces in pockets and the ability to actually receive the ball in positions where you can look to affect the game is very important. And also, a player who's able to step from midfield, join the forward in looking to engage in a high press is also an added advantage in this system. The next position are the wingers. The wingers are also quite important. The wingers. So in the wingers, Chelsea have 3 very good wingers: Mudryk, Sterling, Noni Madueke. And these are players who have played in that position and who Pochettino actually improved in those wide areas. Sterling understands this role. So the wingers usually start high and wide. And the main strength is that they need to be very good 1v1 wingers. Why should the wingers be good in a 1v1 situation? The reason why they're supposed to be so good in this 1v1 situation is because they are so deadly with the ball. This will make the opposition fullback to step out to try and cover them. And immediately the opposition fullback step out to try and cover them, it is now when they will be able to penetrate that backline and actually create spaces in the half spaces where those twin 10s can actually look to occupy. Their offensive threat is what even makes them more deadly, because they are starting out in wide positions, cutting in. And because fullbacks will commit to try and press them, then the twin 8s who are also very creative will get that space. And this is what makes Manchester City so deadly, because when you have these players in this position and the ability to also make runs beyond the opposition, the back line, and actually look to cross while the other looks to cut in from the far post, makes it even more deadly. And looking at this position, you also need to understand that the wingers should be very, very fast, in that they should be able to make those diagonal runs, especially when opponents try to play with a compressed backline. You can easily play those balls over the top. The center forward. The center forward is a very crucial position for Maresca's system, and I believe that Jackson can really play that position very well. And why is this? This position requires physicality, especially in the Premier League. You understand the physicality that is in the Premier League, and I think Jackson has really done well for his first season, contrary to what people will say. The goals also have been great. 14 in his first seasons is good. Now, the center forward's main role is to be a player who's able to link up. Jackson is a better link-up player than Haaland. He's a player who's able to drop deep, receive the ball, and look to play those quick 1-2s. Jackson is also a player who's able to drop deep and carry the ball. It's something that we've seen him doing. You can see here, like in Arsenal's system, you can see Kai Havertz playing in that false 9 position, dropping deep, receiving the ball directly from the center back, and opening spaces in those spaces. Now, you can see once those spaces have been opened, you can see how the wingers make those diagonal runs. And that's why I'm telling you, the relationship between the wingers, the twin tens, and the center forward is very important. Let's look at Jackson. Jackson, in this position, in the game against Bournemouth, was dropping deep. But you see, the difference in this earlier Pochettino system is that players are not making runs beyond Nicolas Jackson. These things started happening after, when the likes of Cole Palmer came in and Mudryk. Look at the spaces. Jackson is dropping deep, but there are no players who are making runs. Especially Conor Gallagher was not helping in this kind of system. But when Maresca employs a system whereby when he drops deep, the attacking midfielder and the wingers are able to make those runs, then Jackson can really flourish. Even when he's not scoring goals, he can actually put his other forwards in positions where they're able to score goals and make great assists. The number 9 should also be ready to attack the 6-yard space, especially when the number 10 looks to make that half space run. He should be the one who should be there ready to tap in the ball, and that's one thing that Maresca will try to really work on with Nicolas Jackson, and this might actually see Jackson improving his goal contributions. He should also be an aggressive presser. That is something that we've seen Jackson do tremendously. The number 9 in this position should also be a player who gives the team outlet, especially when the center backs and the central midfielders have been pressed in a man-to-man situation. Then it's up to the number 9 to drop deep. And this is something that Jackson has been doing for Chelsea, dropping deep, playing the ball onto the other player, and immediately looking to progress with the ball. This is something that Jackson knows how to do, and that's why I believe he's really going to improve next season under this manager. We've really looked at the key players in every position. We've looked at the defense, we've looked at the midfield, we've looked at the attack. He likes to create that box-shaped midfield, wingers who are cutting in and who are very fast, a center forward who's able to drop deep and link up play. Now, the next thing that you're going to look up is the lineup. What lineup should he pick? I've actually decided to draw a lineup, draw a formation, and I'm going to talk through it. This formation is a 4-3-3. The goalkeeper, we've not decided because we don't know who Chelsea are going to pick. Center back pairing, I've picked Chalobah and Badiashile. I hope Chalobah stays. If he doesn't stay, then we hope Wesley Fofana will be back. Cucurella at left back, James at right back, Caicedo in midfield, Enzo in one midfield position, Palmer in the other, Mudryk and Noni Madueke in the wide areas, or either Sterling can come in, and Nicolas Jackson leading the line. That can be a very strong system for him. Now, we need to understand that this is very, very important, and we are going to see how he's going to improve players. Honestly, I believe a player such as Cole Palmer will be very, very important for him, because Cole Palmer understands this position. Cole Palmer understands when to drop deep. Cole Palmer understands when he should come short, receive the ball, the positions in the half spaces, the positions in the pockets, the dynamic movements. And also remember, Maresca wants controlled build-up, meaning that you are slowly building, and he wants his team to be in an attacking system while the opposition is in a defensive system, and that's why he's able to coach his team on how they are able to transition. You'll not see Chelsea, where the same Chelsea which was leaking a lot of goals next season. You're not going to see the same Chelsea that was so porous in midfield, but rather you're going to see a Chelsea which is very well structured, a Chelsea that is able to actually build well, use excellent forward structures, and using a very stable midfield system that is able to get the best out of players. I'm going to look at the next video with Chelsea without the ball. The next tactical analysis is Chelsea without the ball. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. See you later.